Marketing Edge ONTV is Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. I am Bababumi Agbibi. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. The global AI market is projected to reach $4.8 trillion by 2033. That's according to United Nations Trade and Development Report, UNCTAD. While AI offers vast economic opportunities, it also poses risk to 40% of jobs worldwide, with knowledge-intensive sectors being particularly vulnerable. UNCTAD warns that automation may deepen inequalities, especially in advanced economies. The report stresses the need for stronger international cooperation and investments in digital infrastructure to ensure AI benefits everyone. It also calls for efforts to reskill workers to adapt to the changing job landscape. The global laptop market, valued at over $127 billion in 2023, is projected to hit $164 billion by 2032, growing at an annual rate of 3.2%. This rise, according to Straits Research, is driven by remote work trends, increasing demand for portable devices, and growing interest in two-in-one laptops. It's reported that emerging markets are seeing a surge in laptop adoption due to better internet access and rising disposable income. The report revealed that currently, gaming laptops and education-focused models are also gaining traction. Despite competition from smartphones and tablets, lightweight hybrid laptops and digital learning tools continue to boost global demand. Pepsi has introduced two new zero-sugar flavors, strawberries and cream soda, paired with an AI tool called The Sweetest to measure sweetness in playful ways. The tool compares the flavors to fun objects and emotions, targeting Gen Z with its interactive and quirky approach. To complement the launch, Pepsi is hosting a sweet room pop-up where fans can taste the new drinks and engage with the AI. Coca-Cola has brought back its iconic Share a Coke campaign, now updated with digital features to engage Gen Zs. Personalizing bottles with popular names will return to shelves in over 120 countries, featuring QR codes that lead to a digital hub. Through the Coca-Cola app, users can customize bottles and create shareable content. The campaign also includes influencer collaborations and a short film, The Magic of Sharing, to celebrate togetherness. Next is Branding Focus after this break.
Every Nigerian mum knows everything is so expensive. Every naira needs to work harder. That's why I always go back to So Clean.
New So Clean with Snow Powder Tech. The powder is finer,
so it dissolves easier, foams faster, and cleans better.
Every grain works for you. Nothing's wasted.
New So Clean detergent with Snow Powder Tech. Every grain works for you.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
Now brand in focus. TVC Communications has opened a new chapter in African broadcast journalism with the unveiling of its ultra-modern headquarters in Ikwa Atlantic. The state-of-the-art facility, commissioned in November 2024, blends cutting-edge technology with striking architecture, positioning the brand as a pace-setter in the industry. From immersive studios and augmented reality-ready sets to smart energy systems and high-performance digital infrastructure, the new office reflects TVC's bold ambition and commitment to excellence. Designed with creativity, collaboration, and innovation in mind, the headquarters offers panoramic views, a vibrant newsroom, and purpose-built spaces for its flagship programs. Whether it is a breaking news segment or primetime panel discussion, the viewer experience has become more immersive than ever. From the bustling, light-drenched newsroom to the vibrant sets of well-branded and purpose-built studios for journalist hangouts and the expressive world of your view, one thing becomes instantly clear. TVC Building is not just a workplace, it is a broadcast dreamscape built to global standards. TVC's relocation to the high-end district marks not just a change in address, but a forward-thinking mindset. It is a digitally wired legacy institution built now but future fit, redefining broadcasting standards in Nigeria and beyond. Next is Industry Conversation, where we discuss with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves and have made tremendous impact in their chosen field. Today, our guest is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, TVC Communications, Victoria Ajayi. Join us after this break.
Every Nigerian mum knows everything is so expensive. Every naira needs to work harder. That's why I always go back to So Clean.
New So Clean with Snow Powder Tech. The powder is finer,
So it dissolves easier, foams faster, and cleans better.
every grain works for you. Nothing's wasted.
New So Clean detergent with Snow Powder Tech. Every grain works for you.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
On Industry Conversation, I have the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, TVC Communications, Victoria Ajayi.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
First of all, let me congratulate you on your new ultra-modern office complex and state-of-the-art equipment. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very
And
much.
personally, your recognition as one of the top 65 exceptional women making impact. That's big deal. Congratulations.
Thank you once again.
So with this new ultra-modern facility, does this mean TVC Communications is on its way to winning the award again for best place to work?
Okay. Being a great place to work or being recognized as the best place to work isn't about brick or mortar or having a state-of-the-art facility. It's not so much about that. I mean, ultra-modern facilities are good and they're necessary because it's a sign of growth in the industry. Every institution has its own goals, and one of ours is about technological advancement. So we pride ourselves in setting the pace when it comes to world-class facilities. That's one thing. And when it comes to world-class standards, we're up there. So I'm glad we can stand shoulder to shoulder with any broadcast station around the world. In fact, since we launched this new facility, we've become top of mind for global partnerships with many companies. Notable business schools have contacted us and they want their, business school graduates to come visit us to learn about broadcast in Nigeria and Africa. So I'm proud of what we've established, and if it helps that we put Nigeria on the map with our state-of-the-art facilities, then it means we're doing something right. So back to winning Great Place to Work. See, the Great Place to Work award or recognition is done by a reputable institution. They've been doing this for many years. It's an institution in the United States of America. And what they look at is really how the staff assess you as a company. And as part of the Great Place to Work assessment, there's what they call the Trust Index. That ranks very high, actually. And our staff have to assess us. Sometimes when you're a leader and they do a 360-degree check on you, a survey on you, you're always wondering what will come of it. And that's the way the Great Place to Work assessment is. It's not just an external body assessing us, it's our staff assessing us based on trust, for instance. Does management do what they say they will do? Do they meet up with their promises? What type of welfare packages do you provide for your staff? And I dare say we're one of the best in the industry. The welfare packages we provide to our staff are really generous. We really take our time to think of welfare packages that make a difference to the life of our staff. I believe we're one of the only ones who provide home ownership opportunities to staff once you stay with us for a protracted period, because we want to retain you. So you have the opportunity to own a piece of land or own your own property once you stay with us for a long time. Tell me how many companies
Great deal. I like that.
do that. So that and many more other welfare packages that we provide. Of course, you know, we used to have a world-class, again, creche type of facility at our old space. But even here, we have many other, facilities that we provide to our staff. So we do take our time to provide facilities and welfare packages to our staff that go a long way in retaining them. And that's really what makes us a great place to work. It's not about, brick and mortar or how fancy the state-of-the-art studios that we have.
I like that. You are a financial management risk kid. So what do you see as a competitive advantage to navigate this media sector?
Okay, well, I'm not new to the sector, so that helps. But as a CEO, I'm entrusted with ensuring long-term sustainability, making strategic investments, and driving profitability. And these are tasks that require financial acumen. So my competitive edge, it's not just about my knowledge or experience in the media sector. I believe it's my grasp and understanding of the business of media. Whilst I possess financial sagacity, as is expected for someone with a financial background, and the ability to optimize resources and drive economic value, I'm still able to look at aspects of the business objectively and critically assess the needs of various stakeholders at the same time. So I believe that's what makes, me special.
How do you assess the Nigerian media market? Looking at it, very competitive.
It is.
Yes, how do you assess it?
Okay, so the Nigerian media market, market fragmentation, there are many players. We have divided audiences. Nigeria has hundreds of radio stations and dozens of TV channels. There's an explosion of digital media right now, making us, that's Nigeria, one of Africa's most fragmented media markets. For instance, terrestrial TV and radio, we have a mix in Nigeria. There's government-owned, there are private players. Let's talk about cable and satellite. We have DSTV, StarTimes, GoTV. Whilst they are strong, they still face competition from digital streaming. So yes, it's fragmented. Let's talk about online and blogs, online news and blogs. They're competing with the likes of, verifiable ones are competing with the likes of sensational blogs. So even on the blog and online space, there's competition. Social media and influencers, there's competition there as well. So everyone is battling for young audiences, and it's just hugely fragmented. The impact this has is that there's more choices for audiences. They have a lot of places to go to. And advertisers, the budget is scattered. That's the thing right now. So they're wondering, advertisers look at us and do we do social media or do we go to traditional broadcasters? And so survival really depends on how you can differentiate your unique content and your niche focus and your unique offering. And so competition is there, it's fierce. It's traditional broadcast versus digital players. And so it's the battle of attention right now, and ad revenue is shrinking. There's competition as well when it comes to ad revenue. It's intensified right now because of the digital, disruptions. So it's hugely fragmented. Everyone just needs to ensure they have a niche offering, unique content they're providing, and you just need to ensure you provide services that your audience, who are you serving? Provide services that your audience need and want to see, content they want to see, and hopefully you'll be fine. But not forgetting the digital space, because that's very, very critical for us in the industry right now.
Staying with the word unique, what's the unique selling point of TVC Communications?
So TVC Communications is very different from other conglomerates because unlike some of our contemporaries, we're not just a news, TV channel. Neither are we just a radio station. we have a potpourri and a suite of all of it. It's like having a basket of goods, if I use the economic term. So TVC Communications has TVC News, TVC Entertainment, the radio stations, which is Max FM Lagos, Max FM Abuja, and we have Adaba FM. And of course, we just birthed in, a new baby, Yanga FM. And so because we have this potpourri of brands, it makes it different for us to start with. We're not like some other ones that have just one. And the reason it makes it different for us is because each of those brands have their USPs. Let's start with TVC Entertainment, for instance. TVC Entertainment is, I would say, we're the home of talk shows. We're not just general entertainment. When it comes to talk shows in Nigeria, we're the home of talk shows. From Wake Up Nigeria in the morning to Your View, an all-women hosted show, which has been around for more than 12 years now. And it's not easy having a live show for 12 years, consistently, every single day, Monday to Friday, with women from diverse backgrounds, where people air their views and they share different perspectives. Your View has also grown to have Your View Pigeon at the weekend. So we have Your View, we have eSplash, which appeals to the youth. We have Black Table, which is the equivalent of Your View. So this is just men discussing matters from men's perspective, late night men talk. Then we have Reality Check, which reviews, for instance, reality shows, which is a big thing in Nigeria now. And so we're the home of talk shows when it comes to TVC Entertainment. And this particular station is where a lot of fast-moving consumer good brands would come, and so there's not just ad spots, but there's an opportunity for sponsorships with TVC Entertainment. So whilst we have the home of talk shows, we also have TVC News. TVC News is also distinct because we're first for breaking news. However, when we say we're first for breaking news, we don't just break any news. We ensure our news is verified, it's checked. If the sources are not double-checked, we don't break it, even though we say we're first for breaking news. We do not engage in disseminating information because everyone is breaking the information. It has to be verifiable. The sources must be checked before we do break that news. And so we have TVC News, which is just, dissemination of information to the general populace. And then we have our radio stations. We rebranded Max FM some years ago. It was Radio Continental, if you remember, 102.3. It was predominantly a talk station, and it was rebranded to just become a hit music station, and it just took off, right? So in Abuja and Lagos, Max FM, hit music radio station, lots of giveaways on the show. It has become very popular and just rose through the ratings after the rebranding. And of course, Yanga FM, just from the name, Yanga FM, it's an urban pidgin radio station. So as you can see, that they all have their unique selling points, and they're different. And I love the fact that we have this basket of different brands. And so there's no reliance on any one area. And that's what makes us, TVC Communication, unique, let alone our digital assets. So yes, that's what makes us special.
Great. As a financial and also a media mogul, now what would you say is the value worth of Nigerian media market?
Value. Okay, let's start with the global markets first before we bring it home. According to the PwC Global Entertainment and Media Outlook Report for 2024 to 2028, the global entertainment and media industry, which I'll keep calling E&M, is projected to hit $3.4 trillion in 2028. And it's growing at a 3.9% CAGR, compound annual growth rate. The outlook covers 11 business segments, so 11 revenue segments across different countries and territories. And advertising revenue, which is one of the 11 segments, is projected to top $1 trillion by 2026. Now, advertising revenue here has surpassed consumer spending in 2023. And it's projected to grow at a rate of 6.7% CAGR as well. So despite economic headwinds, technological disruption, and increased competition in our industry, the global E&M industry continues to grow, even outpacing overall economic IMF, I believe, had cited something, and it's outperformed what IMF had cited, overall economic growth. So advertising revenue continues to grow. Now, the US itself remains the world largest consumer market, followed by, I think, places like China and India. Now, Nigeria apparently is termed to be a maturing market, but we're also steadily growing. And for Nigeria, the E&M revenue growth is portrayed to be about 10%. All of this is PwC's numbers, not my numbers, because sometimes you have to understand what's happening in the global landscape for you to understand what will happen at home. Now, let's bring it home. According to Geopol and the OMG Group, about 156 billion naira was spent on media in Nigeria last year. That's in 2024, 156 billion naira. Now, the broadcast industry in Nigeria isn't particularly transparent with its earnings. You and I would know that, as they're mostly private players in the industry. And I mean, therefore, its broadcast media is just a subset of the entire media industry. So sometimes it's hard when people say, oh, what is the forecast? I'm in broadcast media, but media is huge. The E&M report that I referred to has 11 segments, like I said. The 11 segments include music, cinema, gaming, digital, connected TVs, various aspects. And we are just broadcast media, which is TV and radio. You know, there's press, there is outdoor. And so just take from what was done last year, that's what I would say, 156 billion. Look at the CAGR that has been, you know, projected for us from between 2023 to 2028, and you would know what the industry would likely do next year if we did 156 billion. You know, what will we do this year? So if you grow it slightly, you would know that what we will do next year. And, you know, that's the way to look at it, I would say. There's no other way. You have to look at trends, you have to look at what was done before, and then you take it from there.
How do you think regulatory reforms, media ownership, content regulation will affect the whole media industry?
Regulatory reforms are necessary in any industry, and so ours is no different. But it can bring both opportunities and challenges. It can influence competition, content quality, revenue models, and even it can affect press freedom. And so I think we should start with media ownership and reforms around media ownership. Media ownership reforms would help control, that's what I'll probably say, or regulate how people own media firms in Nigeria. And things like certain restrictions can be placed. I know that I've read, you know, possible restriction on foreign investment. And when that's done, there will possibly be mergers and acquisitions in the industry, which will affect competition and the diversity of players you have. I mean, if you have foreign investors come into the space, then you have more players, there's more money in the media industry. But like I said, there are potential pros and cons. I would want to look at the pros, you know, of having reforms, you know, in that space, regulate ownership. One, it would drive more local investors in media, because that's what you want. You don't want foreigners telling our stories. You want us telling our stories. And so it would drive more foreign local investors to invest in media. Also, if, you know, if it's permitted and it's not so heavily regulated where you stop certain mergers and acquisitions, then you have policies that may encourage people coming together. And when people come together, you don't have too much of a monopoly in the industry. So policies that prevent monopolies are good when it comes to media, you know, ownership. So in that way, I think regulatory reforms may be good, because you don't just want a few players dominating and leading in the space. You want diverse, small players to thrive in the space as well. I mean, we know who the big players in the industries are, but it's good to always have other players as well. So yes, in terms of ownership, policy reforms in terms of ownership, I think it's a good one.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
That's the much we can take. Join us again next week for the concluding part of the conversation. I am Babumi Agbibi.